And today, to start us off, talk about that Pang one.
Hang one. God damn.
What? Talk about a fucking roller coaster. God damn it.
So much has happened in like the newest episode that I'm like, what the fuck happened in the last episode? Does it even fucking
Oh
matter?
wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, I forgot.
watching this new one, like, when I was at work, too. I had, like, the last, 20 minutes to watch on my lunch break, and I actually started thinking about the previous episode, like, what even happened?
Just an
Legit.
explosion. That's it. Like, all I remember.
But,
Well,
like, in the best way, yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
Uh, it got into like his childhood and stuff, right? That last,
Yes.
yeah,
And
Yeah.
I think, what was it, episode 7? Because it was 8, right? Only 8. Dude, episode 7, like, I liked how much they dove deep into Oz's childhood, but it really made me hate him. Like, that was, like, the point where it's like, "Oh, Oz is not that bad," and then it started going, "Oh, fuck, this guy has, like, been terrible for his whole fucking life." Like, holy shit. What an episode that one was.
Yeah, it really adds like a whole new, like kind of bleeding from episode 7 to episode 8, because the beginning of episode 8, you're getting even more
Mhm.
exploration into his childhood. It really does go to show how he's always had, he's just been fucking despicable for as
Mhm.
long, like you said, as he's been alive. I mean, it's crazy that, I mean, I didn't expect myself that he would have took out his brothers. I mean, I
Yeah.
never theorized that for anything that could have happened to them. I mean, in that one episode, we got the remark that the city took them. He, and again, with a certain scene we'll get on in episode 8, I mean, he just takes full, like, no responsibility when it
Yeah.
comes to it. And it's just crazy because, like, he talks about his mom being sick. He totally convinced himself that this, like, wasn't his fault.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I was expecting with Rex being shown that it was going to be something down the lines of like they got mixed into the I know the mother's mixed into it a little bit with like the mafia type thing, underworld of Gotham, but I was expecting something went wrong with that family and they took the brothers out or took them away. I could have not expected in at all that he just fucking they're playing what kind of like hide and seek in the sewers
Yeah. Mm.
and he just gets pissed off and just leaves them down there, but in a way where he's like, "This benefits me." That's nuts, and that's a gnarly way to go out too. Like you can't get out of there, you're drowning.
And there's also
And
crazy, like he mentioned, like his brothers used to play down there, and that's where he made his base of operations was down in there where he killed his brothers, just like right in their grave.
yeah, because you get that little moment where he finds like the coin, like the little old trolley coin. Wasn't that whenever he was a child, he like saw it or something? There was a glimpse of it because then
Mm-hmm.
whenever he decided he was going to set up his base of operations there, he saw that trolley coin wherever he was. I think it was in the Crown Point apartment. But yeah, I mean, like you said, just the manner in which that he decided to go through with that, and it was just like a flip of a switch. I mean, it was that quick. I mean, it was just one thing on top of another that makes you really realize that this dude is not a good dude. Which, of course, he's not a good dude. He's the
Mhm.
Penguin, but it's like, holy shit! Like you think, him being a softie for his mom, he's big Family Guy and Family Guy reference, and he's actually just a fucking despicable human being.
This whole season is just like, oh my god, he's really just there for his mom, and he wants people to like accept him, and then holy shit, episode 8's like, we were fucking wrong about this guy completely.
Yeah, so it opens episode 8 on the aftermath, of course, of episode 7, where Crown Point had a bomb had been detonated in his underground base of operations by Sophia. And Vic brings all of the accompanied gang members, like gang affiliations that Oz had set himself up with in the prior episodes. And he was giving this like big rallying speech, and I honestly thought they might have went in to help him, but they were all
Mhm.
like, "Yeah, nah, fuck this," and it kind of just led into Vic more so trying to find Oz, and it was a big game of cat and mouse.
Yeah, yeah. I like how Vic is really like surprisingly like the main guy that's really trying to make Oz the big guy, which he does, but
Hmm.
everybody else is just kind of like fuck this dude, except for that one guy. I can't remember his name at the moment, Link or something like that. But
Yeah, I was gonna say, was it Link?
yeah, it sounded like I'm pretty sure it's Link. I didn't want to say something
Yeah,
stupid, but
I
I
think it
liked his
was.
character. He
Hmm.
was a pretty cool one.
Yeah, I thought it was cool that little moment he had with Vic where he like just punched him in the stomach and
Yeah.
was like, "You need to know like when it's your own place to speak and what have you." Um, and at the end of episode 7, Oz, I believe, gets abducted in that, or he gets knocked out, and he end up in the end of episode 7. So that leads into them at the little night lounge or whatever that is, where Oz and his mother had their little date
Mhm.
after she had finally gave the impression that she kind of was trying to get over the deaths of her 2 other children. But in a flashback that's kind of in the beginning of the episode, which I thought was really cool, they had the actress that portrays his
Mhm.
mother right now portraying like the younger version, because it's all that Julian Rush and Sophia trying to figure out, her psyche and stuff. So I thought that was really cool because it gave more of a connection to what this woman has gone through all of her life from that moment to now, and giving that perspective of her right now reliving such traumatic events. And again, back to Rex, I mean, she had requested to Rex or entertained the idea of him actually killing Oz, which is, I mean, equally crazy. I mean, not entirely unjustified, but
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
still nonetheless fucking
Still
wild.
messed up.
Makes you think of that of Rhodey in game where he's just fucking.
Dude.
But yeah, I mean, that was really cool. And it just gave that much more insight, that connection of that space from when they were both younger up until now. And then kind of starts divulging more and more into Oz realizing that Sophia and his mom know. And to make it even worse, his mom has known since.
Mhm.
I thought that was rather surprising, learning that she did know the entire time.
Yeah. So they're kind of like leading both of each other on. No, I mean like he's going through life thinking that he's just he's got away with it, and then she just knows the whole time. But it kind of like makes you think that no matter what Rex's outcome that he initially like said like you can either nurture this and it could be something wonderful, and he could be like something out of this monstrosity that he is. Kind of what happens. He becomes the Penguin, and Gotham kind of nurtures him instead of his mother, like completely into what he has become.
Yeah, definitely. Um, Sophia, again, shout out Kristen Miolotti. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, her, Colin Farrell, fucking standouts of this entire
Hmm.
miniseries. But she starts with little that little like story about the birds and the bird knocking its brother out of the nest or whatever. And he's like, Budge, what the fuck are we talking about Budge for? What the fuck? And it's just like, he is so fucking, he's just so quotable in this episode. Ma! Ah! Dude, She is just so full on like menacing, fucking girl boss mode this episode. She's just been on it these past couple episodes.
She has to probably be like my favorite character within the series, other than Oz. Like he's probably my second, and then Vic. But she, man, like if they did a whole series, it kind of feels like a double series on just the both of them. Like you get a series about literally both of them. So I mean that's two birds, one stone right there.
Yeah, I mean, in the beginning, I wasn't sure exactly how it would go as far as her character and if her character was such a big part of the series. But I mean, seeing how it turned out, I mean, in advertisement, she's like right there with
Mm-hmm.
Colin Farrell. I mean, she is excellent in this role. So, I mean, even if she was to get her own little like spin-off series or however she would tie into the Batman Part 2, it's really exciting to see.
It is.
So in that episode, or in that scene still, Julian is about to cut off her pinky with that little cigar cutter, and Sophia is trying to get him to admit that he committed those actions against his brothers, but I don't know if he is just, I mean, like, what is the psychology to that? Because he is not admitting that. He is just trying to save face for himself, maybe. I mean, even his own mother, which it is like his North Star throughout this entire series. He is always trying to protect his mother. But in this case, where it's happening right in front of him, he won't even fess up. That's just nuts, is it not?
Yeah, I feel like he's buried it so deep and probably has lived like how he thought his mother didn't know this whole time. He's buried it so deep and probably just doesn't think about it on like the day-to-day basis that guilt has just like festered in him so much that he can't even say it out loud that he's done it. Because I mean, even at the end, like we're not to spoil anything yet to the viewers, but where he says, "Do you think she forgives me?" And I think he himself cannot live with it, but him saying it out loud, that I feel like is a whole different ballgame. Like,
I think he has some kind of regret for, like, I forget which episode it was, but whenever Vic says something about his brothers and he's like, don't you speak their name,
yeah,
I
I think that was 6, maybe.
feel like, yeah, to some degree, I think he does have probably some kind of burden to carry with it, but
Yeah,
carries on.
But to Avery's point, I don't know if this is, be interesting to see like one of those videos online of like a criminal like psychology person to like see that performance, because whenever I was watching it initially at first, I was thinking maybe did he just bury it so deep and projected his mom to be, unwell mentally, that he convinced himself that that was not his fault. It was incidental. It just happened.
Yeah.
I mean, what if in his mind he didn't intentionally fully shut that door? Like, there might have just been a draft or something and that had happened. I mean, but I don't know. I mean, there's a certain degree of don't speak their name because of maybe the regret that I carry for that, or maybe just let's not exactly remember them so we don't need to like bring up, the questions that led to that night.
But also that's the actions of a child. What do you guys think of the child acting?
I was gonna say a few minutes ago, I really liked the Oz's like younger self. I feel like he got his mannerisms down pretty good.
Yeah.
I was kind of like in and out with it because, like, it was so good, like, of a caricature of what he would be like as a kid. But then at the same time, I'm like, there's no kid's gonna talk like this.
What you talk about, Ma?
I got you,
Like,
mother.
I got you, mother.
when they're on the date and he's like, Ma, I'm gonna get you a penthouse. It'll be friggin' cool. You know, I ain't gonna let nobody take shit from you, Ma. I was like, this is sweet, but like,
Isn't
I think
that?
the kid was really good for the fact that he was able to pull off such like a caricature, but like it also came off so cringy. So
Well, I mean,
I
like
don't
with
know.
his
I like
brothers,
Bill.
they didn't really have that type of accent, so it must have maybe came from the father. Like they didn't even really dive deep in the father that much, unless he's like some deadbeat. Because he what she said to him as when he was little, you're talking like your father or something along the lines like that. It's like, no, I'm not, Ma. So maybe he got that from them, or maybe where he looked up to Rex so much, maybe he's kind of putting on like a persona type thing.
Yeah, I wasn't even thinking about it like that. He could just be like copying that dialect that he hears, and it's just wild. The perspective of the mom, especially whenever he was, or I can't remember exactly when she was saying it, but she was always like, "Oh, he's like always been such an annoying little shit, and I've hated him. I've hated you ever since." And I was just like, "Holy shit, man!" I think that was like in that like kind of after she had almost got her fucking pinky chopped off. She was like, "I've always hated you," and I'm like, "God damn, talk about daggers," because like that's his mother. Like,
Yeah.
that shit hurt. That shit
Yeah,
Yeah.
even
hurts
though
him.
she said all that stuff to him, and later on when he gets her to the hospital, he's already been stabbed with a bottle and everything, and he's still like, "Look, Ma, I got it all taken care of. Look at the TV."
Got you that view. Got you that view. Oh, dude, it kind of did break. Kind of like I couldn't after all that stuff happened and she was in the hospital from the what was it, a stroke. I didn't know if
Yes.
he was being completely true to like the caring or not because dude, he was about to just let her fucking finger get like just snap the fuck off.
Yeah, I mean, when it came to his own credibility, it kind of seemed like he was just gonna let that happen to her, but he still carries on that. I mean, I don't know if you. I mean, he's a mama's boy. That
Mm.
is like this dude is like textbook mommy issues. It is insane. I mean, like that could be like the subtitle to this fucking series. I mean, it's just like what happens when a mama's boy just ends up becoming like a criminal mastermind. I mean,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
He broke out of that chair like it was nothing when she slumped over.
Yes, I was just about to get to that. That was pretty fucking wicked. I mean, that was some like my boy was moving because
Mm.
he was knocking dudes down with the part of the chair, and then he got the gad and then got
Fucking
out of there.
pure adrenaline, bro. Like just carrying his mom like that after getting like shanked by that damn bottle. Holy
Yeah.
fuck.
Whenever she did shank him with that bottle, how it kind of like cut to the younger
Yeah.
Oz. Shit's really wicked. I mean, just that dynamic
Seeing the
between the both of
brothers
them
like just
and the
soaking wet.
brothers.
I thought that was a nice little touch. Creepy too.
That gave me some like Stephen King vibes.
Mm-hmm.
We could comb over on that kid too that plays young Oz.
There's a hot take in there somewhere, Tyler.
It's like,
A little
I
bit
need
of
a
it hanging.
haircut.
Ma.
I almost thought that Rex was the father. I was starting to think that towards the end of it. I don't know
I
why.
feel like him and like Anthony Mackie have the same face. Like they both like look like they have something to say. Like their mouths are so small. They're like
He does kind of look like that.
anytime I see him or Anthony Mackie, it looks like they got a crazy secret they gotta spill. Anyway, she takes him or he takes her to the hospital, and he lifts somebody's phone because again this guy's a piece of shit, and I believe he calls Vic and gets him down to the hospital. And this always like makes me cringe, like some like self like surgery always makes me cringe because he like lifted up his shirt and he like pouring the hydrogen peroxide on it, and then he's like stapling himself up, And Vic comes in and he's like, I don't know what he said. I can't remember exactly, but he was like, Jesus, what happened? And he was like, oh, it's nothing.
What the fuck? Cut that out. Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Matt Reeves didn't cut it out, so why should we?
Wow.
That was my only one of the night.
Wow. And then he gives a fucking Vic gives a speech to Oz. He's like, "You're the shit, motherfucker. Like, we gotta finish this shit out." And then they go, and I'm trying to remember where that goes from there. What leads into that?
He went to the courthouse.
He did go to the courthouse. I thought that was like okay. I wasn't like super over that, but I mean that was good build to what was gonna end up happening to Sophia.
On Twitter, there's like a whole big thing going around where a lot of people are speculating Court of Owls. I didn't really like see it at first, and I still don't really absolutely see it. But there's like these drapes in the background, and there looks like kind of like a feather design behind them, and people were saying it looks like an owl shape type thing. I think it's just kind of like pushing it out there, and some people are just major speculating.
That's more of just like a Easter egg.
Yeah, I feel like if anything, yeah, because what was Batman Year 2 or something of him being Batman, maybe less. I feel like that'd be super early for Court of Owls because I mean you really haven't seen him like do absolute detective work type thing. So I don't know. That's just me though.
Court of Owls would be cool in like the Batman Part 3
Mhm.
or something like that, or maybe if they could do like a little offshoot series in between 2 and 3, something to do with the Court of Owls, and they could be like a side villain or a side plot.
I hope they milk the hell out of the villain series. Like if they're all, or if they could be all as good as the Penguin, I would love it. I know James Gunn is doing his own DC stuff, and Matt Reeves is doing his trilogy. But if we can get some spin-offs, and I would absolutely love a Joker one if it's like a gruesome type thing, kind of like this. It could be its own, kind of like how they do in the comics. It's DC. God dang that accent. DC Black Label or Label Black. I can't remember which way it is.
Yeah, I think it's Black Label.
So they could do that. It would be its separate universe, and you'd have gritty titties all over the place.
You're muted, Brandon.
Thank you, Chad.
I should have let you go on, but
thank you. I appreciate it.
But even like to the the whole Court of Owls thing, maybe because I know they're in early talks of season 2, they could drop little hints in that if they wanted to do it for the 3rd movie or something. But
I would be down for a season 2 with Oz.
Mm-hmm. They originally, I think, had it in mind as just one season, but just with the way that things are going, I mean, just this last episode, I think got like a 9.7 on like IMDb.
One of the top TV series, I think, at the moment. So,
I mean, rightfully so.
Yeah, it's number 1 on Max. I mean, like on TV series wise, it's right fucking there. So, like, it's doing great.
I feel like in a series that's so long, I mean, you're like 45 to an hour long episodes, there's very little fat that you get in this series, which is very rare.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I have such trouble like watching like series on like Netflix or anything like that. It seems like there's a lot of filler, but it was very calculated the whole way through, and what it ended up to by the end of this episode, it really just kind of comes full circle. But yeah, no, that courtroom scene, I mean, for what it was good because he was again, maestroing all of his own narratives that he wanted to let him get out scot-free, and then everybody else get fucked over. So it was a good scene all around as far as like building the exposition for later in the episode. And then what happened after that?
That's when Link calls Vic. That's his name, right? Link.
Yeah.
Link calls Vic and is wanting to know where Oz is at because there's Sophia's put the hit.
Yeah.
You could have it all. Just tell me where Oz is. I'm getting the fuck out of here.
Yeah, she decides she's gonna leave Gotham,
Her
and
with the
she's done.
3 cigarettes in her mouth.
Yeah,
One for my
yeah.
father, one for my mother, one for my brother. I don't know.
Oh my God, maybe that's some crazy ass symbolism.
Maybe, I
I
don't
got
know.
symbolism I'm gonna drop here towards the end of the Penguin. I'm gonna be on Chad level.
Ooh,
Oh shit!
I'm gonna
God, I can't handle this.
do something I can't say in my britches. Liquid death.
Liquid up.
Ooh.
So yeah, she's like put out the hit on him, and then she does end up going to like burn the entire her entire like mansion down and everything like that. That was a real cool scene. You had the little Nirvana cover in the background, and that was a pretty cool scene. And then she met up with Link and a few of the other gangs affiliated, I believe. And then that led into the turn where Link was with Oz, and but busted everybody up, and Oz was able to capture her.
That was a really cool scene too. I was fully expecting like the route that I thought they were going to take is I didn't think everybody was going to be on the same side, or to then kind of just did they kill? They killed the guards of Sophia, but the way that I was thinking that was going to happen was they wouldn't know that Vic was on the plane, and maybe if they were going to kill her off, that Vic was going to be the one that did it on the plane when she thought she was going to get away, like on the runway going. But I like the way that they did more than that, kind of just like the turn the tables type thing.
Yeah, it led into kind of the symbolism that was in one or two episodes where it was him being her driver, and he was able to, he was taking all this shit from not really her, but her peers about how lowly of a person he is. He's just the driver, and he was able to kind of spew his own, you know, shit to her as he's driving her. Talking about how she had everything handed to her, and she never knew what it was like to have to work from the ground up. Despite the fact that he took quite literally everything from her for 10 years. I mean, again, my man can not take any accountability.
Yeah.
It was just a big oopsie.
Little oopsie.
Went to
Sorry.
fucking Arkham, and then proceeded to take her brother, and then proceeded to take more and more and more, and leaving her with like nothing. So
Yeah.
it's crazy.
And then that leads into him taking her kind of like at like a little dock area. And I was kind of thinking that he was gonna kill her, but he ended up kind of sparing her. But that led into her being apprehended by the cops, and she done a really good job, Kristen Milotti, in that scene, because you could kind of see whenever she had her eyes closed and she was just like bracing for it, like it was almost like a clarity for her, because she finally could stop having to shed these personas that are always thrusted upon her, and that this was finally going to be just the release that she needed. But then you get that spotlight from the helicopter and all the cops roll in. So I mean, she might have just went into like a state of just like absolute like disassociation, because by the time it cut back to all the cops pulling in, Oz is gone. So it's just wild. We get the police chief that always sounds like he's in need of a lozenger, and yeah, she's captured.
That dude, when that happened, when it went completely silent and the lights shot on, well, when she turned around, I thought that was going to be the moment that we saw the Batman, and he's just like vanished with fucking Penguin and took him. I thought that was going to be the moment. I was like, oh fuck it, that's some like Arkham shit right there. And then it was like the total opposite, which I'm completely fine with. But I thought that was going to be the moment of like he apprehended Oz.
See, I was kind of on that same wavelength, but the one spoiler that I had seen for this episode was later at the end.
Oh,
in
yeah.
Spotlight. I'd see a picture of that, so I can kind of be
I've
like,
seen that as well.
that would be a fun way, because I was thinking, oh, they actually did it, and then, oh, never mind. I'm glad it was the way it was.
Hmm.
It would have been cool to see Jeffrey Wright as Gordon pop up, just even for like a little scene.
Yeah.
But after she was apprehended, isn't it that one scene?
Yep.
Someone take it away.
Him crying over his mom.
Him crying over his mom. Whew.
That-
Oh, yes, thank God. Let's talk about that. His mom is just in a vegetative state, just like
There's one tear going down.
just stroked out. Absolutely vegetable like. He says, so she's a fucking vegetable? Go get a doctor. I mean, he's like chasing the nurse out
You
of the
don't know
room.
nothing.
That was one of the funniest parts when he's like chasing the nurse out, like, go get a doctor. Just
Go
like,
get a doctor.
man, he's moving quick.
Yeah. And him in that moment of vulnerableness and weakness, the only person he's got there to put a hand on his fucking shoulder is Vic, my fucking dog.
His best friend.
Must start crying.
Yeah. So, like, I'm not okay because I just watched that last night and I'm just fucking mad.
Dude, yes. Oh my God. See, I think he would have survived if he didn't say the fucking family word, dog. If he wouldn't even said that, he would have survived, because you saw that turn in fucking Oz. He was like, fuck, man. Like, as soon as he said family, I was like, fucking, he's dying now.
Dude. They're just sitting on the little park bench, just chilling, and he's like confessing all of his, thank you for taking me in and believing in me, and they're having a good heart to heart, and like you said, he says that family word and then just everything goes to shit. And I just rather him had shot him than just like fucking grabbing him by the
Yeah.
throat and just choking him out and him like begging. He was like, no, please, no, Oz, fuck, god damn it.
I was expecting like an Of Mice and Men kind of ending with the. That's Of Mice and Men, right? When he's looking at the bunny.
Yeah, look at the flower. Or yeah, look at the bunny.
Yeah, that's what I was expecting.
Look at the flowers.
Dude.
But anyways.
See, the flowers is from The Walking Dead. So I think it
Oh,
was look at the
shit.
rabbit.
It was the rabbit, because didn't he like,
He wanted to tend to the rabbits.
he did something, he like played with the rabbits and they died or something like that.
And he wanted
Yeah.
to like catch up in something.
Something like that.
Yeah.
So here's our theory for how Of Mice and Men and the Penguin are in the same universe.
I was really hoping that when Vic said family, Dom Toretto would roll up and be like, it's all about family. And,
Family.
All about family.
Fast and Furious 15 or whatever.
Fuck Riddick.
Fuck. I mean, that's what I was putting in my Letterboxd review.
By the way, I am Groot.
My Chad brain kicked in.
You're welcome.
So, of course, after Oz, kills Vic, takes his wallet, takes the cash out, he's looking at his driver's license, and then you just see him toss it, into the water. It's not Vic's body being drowned, but it's still, I was thinking, like, with his brothers, that's another
I can see
person,
that.
that's his family, that he's letting drown.
I was waiting for Vic to say like, oh, I see he was like a brother or something, and that's when he got like choked out or something. But
just like his mom and dad too, with the flood, couldn't breathe.
yeah,
That motherfucker took his like $120 out of his wallet too. goddamn piece of shit. I'm so mad.
I wish they would have showed Oz like after that, just like eating like a sandwich or something. Like
Yeah,
he's
just like
funny
Eating
again.
the like what was it called? The suicide fucking slushy.
yeah, slushy. He's like,
Yeah.
God, Vic, love these. You're doing good, kid.
God.
You're a good man, Vic. You're good for
You're
this
good.
world.
You're a good man, Vic. Love the suicide slushy.
Nothing personal.
I thought he was going to keep the ID to remember him, and as soon as he threw it, I was like, no fucking fucks at all. Like, what the fuck? Like, just a stepping stone, literally. Vic did so fucking like back work for him. He wouldn't even be at the place he was without fucking Vic.
And that's even what he said. This despicable motherfucker, dude. It's just crazy.
I wonder if he's like fearing that because like where Vic orchestrated everything else with them, rising up with the other gangs, he was scared that Vic was going to eventually turn on him.
Good.
Yeah.
Maybe I was thinking it was more so that Oz was trying to cut off any kind of. Cause he says when he's talking to Vic, like family is like a vulnerability or something along those lines.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I think that's just more of him cutting off anything that can be used against him. Because I mean, obviously we've seen what happened with his mom. The one thing that he does care about was used against him,
Mm-hmm.
and look how that's turned out. So I'm sure that's mainly also him just being like, well, I don't want to risk, something happening to Vic and it hurting me, so I might as well do it myself.
I don't want to risk it, so I'm gonna take you out now. It's like, what the fuck? What the fuck?
You're a good man, Vic, but I need a fucking sandwich and a slushy suicide on the way home.
Yeah, dude, what threw me to was when he got to the tower and it started into like full on mommy issue type kink stuff where he's like, say you're proud of me, mama. Tell me you love me.
Oh my fucking god, that
And
made me cringe.
that was the first time that I looked at that actress. I was like, you know what? She does kind of look like a younger version of his mother, and in a sick way. And it really connected then with me. I was like, damn, I never thought of it like that.
When like he walked down, I thought it was his younger like mother. He was seeing her,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, no, this is way worse.
I'm a fucking mom.
I did look that up after I finished the episode because I was like, was that supposed to be like a vision of him dancing with his mom? And then I'm like, oh, never mind.
Yeah,
He beating up his mom.
she really did look like her, and it shocked me. And that
fuck you, ma.
Yeah, well, I told you, mom, I got you.
I'ma fuck you, ma.
I got the penguin for you. But I just, whenever that was happening, dude, I was like, holy shit. Because it does make sense. You never really see them like together sexually or anything. So when that scene happened, I was like, it completely makes sense that he wanted to. Maybe it was sexual, but we just didn't see that part,
I was curious. I, would like to maybe go back eventually. Like, it really seemed like that dress that she was wearing. I mean, I could be completely talking out of my ass, but the dress that the lady was wearing at the end that he was dancing with, I thought, for whatever reason in my mind, it reminded me of her dress that she wore on that night. So I'm wondering how similar. Like, I think it was at least like one of the cutoffs where it's like no shoulder, I think, but I'm not sure.
I agree, because I had that same thought. It looked very familiar, but I didn't go back to check because I was just too into the episode at that point.
Same.
I did think the same thing. So it could very well be, because something in the back of my head said so.
Oz would be the type of motherfucker to be like, I want you to wear my mother's dress.
I want that same dress. I want to
Put it on.
smell.
It's also like he's kind of like trying to fix the image that he had of her, like that night where she was going to have him killed. He wants to go back to that night to get it like, oh, she actually did care about me and she wasn't going to kill me and stuff like that.
You look beautiful, ma.
Let's go dancing, toots.
Take that dress off, ma.
I'ma fuck you, ma.
The Batman can't fix me. You can do, ma.
God damn it. And then, of course, we do get the little bat symbol at the end, which is sick.
Yeah, so I wonder what, the article I sent before, it was saying, like, I don't know how true it is, but it was saying that he was on a bigger case or a more serious case, so I don't know if like it's starting him again of like maybe because he was healing from the last movie. Even Alfred was healing, so maybe he took time. But I've also seen that this series takes place within a week. I don't know how true that is because that seems like a lot of time crammed into a week.
Oh yeah, I mean that's crazy. The idea of it taking place within a week,
Yeah.
but I mean, I mean, we never get any hits of like Christmas or anything like that.
Hmm.
So, or even Thanksgiving, I don't believe. So, it is very well possible that it did take place within the week because I was listening to a Matt Reeves interview, and I think that he said it's like not meant to take place before the end of the year. So, I mean, the events of the Batman was like kind of like end of October, beginning of November. So, I mean, it is very well possible, but the idea of it taking place in such a short time period is kind of strange. But maybe if you watch it all in one shot, it kind of feels more like
Hmm.
rolling in that kind of way.
Well, yeah, because they also had like now I think about that, it would be kind of hard to be in a week because they had the start of the operation and then like the next episode, it was all like getting started and ready and prepared. So there has to be some type of time frame between to get all that stuff, unless they're just going hard. I don't know, but I don't know.
Yeah. Um, Oh, one thing that I was kind of thinking, I mean, this is like kind of like a random offshoot, but I feel like nowadays in a lot of like franchises, you can kind of get like, some characters being thrusted with like a new, like kind of identity. Like I could see maybe Sophia, with the assistance of Julian Rush, or, even if they could both kind of take on the moniker in some way, like both of them kind of becoming like the Scarecrow, like
Mm,
in like some sort of iteration, just because they're like messing with the like with that hypnosis
yeah.
and shit. I mean, like, what if they find a way to like harness that within like the drugs, or they do something? I mean, I feel like that'd be really cool and more Kristen Melody.
Well, we skipped over the revelation that she is related to
Hmm.
Selena Kyle.
Yeah, that
Oh
letter.
yeah, that was another cool kind of connection that they done with Batman. So all in all, I do like, again, like I said, I wish we got like Gordon in this episode. Like that kind of would have been cool because in the way of like the Batman universe, I mean, you get like very slim like connections, but like they didn't really need that for the series, granted, but would have
Yeah.
been cool.
I would
Did
kind of like
well
to
just
see.
standing on its own.
Hmm.
Hmm.
I'd like to see in the Batman Part Two that because I know he has like 5 or 6 scenes in it. Maybe they show his like empire that he's built, drug operation stuff, and then season 2 can be him building that, and they can
Hmm.
flesh that out a little bit more. Because Batman
Yeah.
Part Two comes out what, like 2026,
It's a long while till we get it. Yeah.
and it's supposed to be like a winter kind of theme, I think.
Hmm.
So
Perhaps.
Yeah.
Yeah. It will be interesting to see how the Penguin plays into the second one because, I mean, just how much of him we do get, of course, in his own series, but just how the other characters are going to come into play, like, Sophia and, the aftermath of no Falcones or Maronis.
I wonder.
So it's going to be a completely different landscape.
I wonder, like, if Julian Crush was a comic character.
I don't know
Because I
if
don't
he was or not.
remember that name.
Yeah.
if he
I
does
want
it as
to.
being the Scarecrow, like they missed a whole opportunity with him.
Yeah.
It, yeah,
I mean,
for whatever reason, he gives me, like, big Hugo Strange vibes. And if you don't know who Hugo Strange is, he is kind of like a therapist, but he does it, like, for his own gain. My phone is fucking up.
Hmm.
Fuck.
You can try to look up.
My whole right side of my phone doesn't work because I got water in it. And so like I have the hardest time texting or doing anything with my phone right now. And here's a tad bit here we'll seep into like real life for just a moment on Java's
yes, of
Dungeon.
course.
So I go into Verizon today and I'm like, I want to upgrade. They're like, all right, it's 150 some. I was like, okay. And then they're like, well, with this bill you still have due, you're gonna have to pay that off first. So it's like a good bit more. And but whenever I was talking to him, like Paulo was next to me, and I said, "Yeah, I'd like to upgrade," but he was just like, And my bill isn't suspended, or my phone's not suspended. I'm on track with my stuff, so I don't know why he said this. And he was just like, "Oh, it looks like you still got a bill, and it's suspended," out loud in the fucking like place. And I'm just like, motherfucker, dude. Like, why'd you gotta yell it for? Like, what the fuck?
What the fuck, dog?
What the fuck is your problem, man? Yeah,
Was a motherfucker at the Verizon store.
yeah. I was like, you fucking, what's your problem?
Oh,
All
you
the
were
homies
talking
hate
shit to my
Verizon.
boy.
Switch over to US Cellular.
U.S. Cellular?
Cellular.
I feel like I got a hair in my mouth.
I hope you pick it out.
My girlfriend has T-Mobile and it's pretty cheap for her.
We might switch over because Verizon fucking sucks.
I looked it up. Julian Rush. This is his only appearance in anything like DC.
Really?
So-
That's what I thought. Thought he was an original character.
Dude, they could pull off if they want to keep this character or keep him as an actor, and he's truly Hugo Strange. Holy fuck, dog! And he's in Arkham. It would make sense. Oh.
He needs to get more fucked up though, because right now he's just Sophia simp, which
Yeah.
same.
In the comics, Hugo Strange, he's all about like mind fucking you in a way where you kind of lose yourself. Like I need to read more about him, but in the like Arkham series, he was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Which I've been trying to play a little bit more of Arkham Asylum.
There's
Some
rumors,
pieces.
news type thing before we do news. They are remastering Arkham Asylum. Even though it don't really need a remaster, it looks fucking great, but
It
I'll
looks
take it.
great.
They're remastering Arkham Asylum, and then they're going to do another Batman game that is rumored to be in like the Batman Beyond. So it's going to take place after Arkham Knight, but in like a Neo Gotham. So like more of the future in. So we might see Terry Guinness. Hopefully, Rocksteady has the game to go back and make a new game. So, and they're great. They did the first 3. So
Yeah, the only complaints I have with Arkham Asylum, as far as like playing it, never playing it prior or anything, it's just I feel like the mechanics, like the controls and stuff, like that's the only thing. Like it does look great. It's just kind of hard to play.
it's definitely clunky compared to the next 2. Arkham City's kind of almost the same, but they kind of like make it better. But Arkham Knight, they fleshed it out. I mean, Arkham Asylum came out on the 360. I remember back in the day, like whenever I get like when I used to get Game Insider, I think it was called. When I first saw it, like fully inspired by Batman, Arkham Asylum, like that was like me jizzing everywhere, just like holy shit type thing.
Yeah. Yeah, because that was 2008, 2009.
It was long ago.
Mm-hmm. Which it's amazing that they were able to get the voice acting team that they did for that, and I mean it is able to hold up as well as it has.
Straight up, it's like they just, I mean, it's essentially the same characters from the animated series almost.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to hit on the new adventure DC Multiverse figures that they're releasing?
All the figures.
Yeah.
Some of them look good. Like the thing is with those are I want to get them to have them because I know they're probably going to be harder to find later on. This is how it always goes with McFarlane. Like I've been collecting some more here and there. I don't know why I was looking for this one right here. It's fucking but I've been trying to collect here and there because their sculpts are getting better, but the adventures ones, they just don't look the best. Like the Riddler one didn't look that great when I might have sent it to the chat.
Yeah, the Riddler one, I was gonna comment. It looks ass.
I don't know what the fuck they're doing with that, but they can make it look good if they actually like try with the paint accessories and maybe tweak the mold, but it doesn't look pleasing at all. The Scarecrow looked kind of cool, but I'm not the biggest fan of like the animated ones. Like that Batman up there was pretty cool, but I only got it for 15, and that was the only reason. Plus the art card or the cards from the episodes. I don't know if I'll get more.
I thought the Scarecrow looked kind of cool, but yeah, for like the Riddler, I was wanting to talk about that
Yeah,
just because
so
that looks like really fucking bad.
yeah, it looks like just a poorly made custom almost.
hmm
Is that new Superman you were talking about, Avery? Is that one that's in a 2-pack with Doomsday?
Oh yeah, that is the Doomsday and Superman. Yeah, from Batman v Superman.
Okay. I don't know if that was like a single release because I'd seen the pictures of the 2-pack.
Yeah, they had a single release back in the day, but I think they updated the paint on it and such. I only pre-ordered it because I have the Ben Affleck Batman, and I know it was you, Brandon, that has a hot take on Batman v Superman.
Yeah, fuck, Fat Bat. Fuck Ben
What
Affleck's
the fuck? What the
Batman.
fuck?
Fucking has an ugly
What
suit.
the fuck? What the
Fucking
fuck?
ugly bat symbol.
What
He's got the
the
short
fuck?
ears. He looks like shit. He's got the butt chin. Chad, hit the sound again.
What
Fuck
the
him.
fuck?
Fuck Ben Affleck's
What
Batman.
the fuck?
Fuck
Hey, can I
Ben
say
Affleck's
something?
Batman.
That might get me canceled. I think that Ben Affleck's Batman aesthetically is what I want in a live action looking Batman.
I will say right now, hey. I will say, listen, so through all the Batman that we've had, and I know you say you don't like the costume, Brandon, but it's like the only thing that I don't like the texture of it. Don't get me wrong. Like the little slits type thing, I'm not the biggest fan of. But the Batman versus Superman suit is probably my favorite suit of all the Batmans. It looks like it's straight up from the comics, dude.
Fuck!
Dude, I'm telling you, it looks straight up like what it would be. But I like whatever little ripples that he has on the suit. I don't like that. But I'm just saying, dog.
No, I respect it. And like I'm not giving you shit. I just hate that style of Batman. Like Frank Miller's like The Dark Knight Returns Batman, the way he draws Batman in that, I think looks fucking terrible. I always like prefer like the Scott Snyder or like Jeff
Yeah.
Loeb, Tim Sale, like the long years. Dude's not like a fucking brick shit house built like Mr. Incredible. He's like a normal dude. Like I don't know. I really dislike a lot of things about that movie. So his batsuit kind of is just like collateral damage, to be honest.
Well, listen, guys,
I
I'm
like-
already gonna say it. This is gonna have to be an episode. We're gonna have to go rewatch this and just like full on. Yeah, I'm just saying. Like this is gonna have to be a fucking hot take episode.
What I love with like the Batman v Superman costume, or just Ben Affleck's kind of suit in general, is I like the more spandexy material instead of like padding and sculpting all over it like the other suits do.
From far away, it
It-
does look like
It
that.
looks more comic, book aesthetic, or it's more just like a skin tight suit over top of a bunch of muscle.
Yeah, and he's got a big ass chin to boot.
I'll tell you my least favorite.
I like the short ears.
I don't mind
Preferably
those
on
short
Batman.
ears. If we could get a Scott, Snyder fucking legit like turn to like movie, I would, fall in love with that because I love his art of Batman. That's peak comic Batman for me is his drawings of him. Frank Miller
It is really lovely.
looks like scribbles, but I can get into the story. Very weird art choice, but that's how all of his shit is.
I like his Year One Batman. Relatively, I think I haven't read Year One in a while, but I thought I didn't mind it. With Frank.
I don't know.
See, because that's what
yeah.
that's what's weird is like he how differently he drew. I mean, granted, Year One obviously to Dark Knight Returns. That's him post Batman career, but like,
Yeah.
oh my god,
Year One was good. I completely forget about that because how much of the Dark Knight Returns kind of like embedded in my memory of how that art looks.
right?
But I don't know if it's a hot take or not, but my least favorite Batman suit is Dark Knight. The Dark Knight suit of Christian Bale, the second movie and the third movie. I liked his first Batman suit way more than the other two, or the same ones
Mhm.
essentially in the next two. But
You mess with the Val Kilmer nipples more.
I'll fucking twist those nipples any day, dog. I
Fucking purple nurple.
You won't fucking get me back, man. you got
No,
them out in the open.
I love that opinion because that's just like so like I don't know, because in a way when I see the Batman Begins suit, I'm like like just hate any stiffness in the neck of Batman, but he's just like, I don't know, maybe I'm a fucking hypocrite because he's got that thick neck.
Mhm.
He just looks beastly, and I'm like, yeah, this dude is a fucking beast.
It reminds me of like the comics more, just because like I mean yeah, he probably turns his neck in the comics, but how like straight, like linear it almost is in the comics. That's what reminds me of the comics the most, somewhat, is the first Christian Bale one, just because it kind of looks frightening. If you saw that fucking dude coming at you and he looks kind of bulky and full on leather, he's either gonna fuck you or he's gonna fuck you up. So I mean, just saying.
And that makes you make a good point with that, because I feel like especially in that first one, I mean, honestly, like The Dark Knight is just as much of a Joker movie than a Batman movie, but you get so many iconic shots with Batman and Batman Begins. I mean, you get like so many silhouetted shots. I mean, you get him imposing from like away, and you're just like getting that silhouette whenever he's like threatening people, or whenever he's like gliding down with his like cape and shit. And even in like the scare sequences that you get with like Scarecrow and stuff, I mean, he's already got like a percentage of the build to already be scary. So honestly, I feel like a very well thought out take. I mean, it's better than preferring the short bat ears and the butt chin, but
I'll say
I
this:
prefer the short ears, but I don't mind the short ears.
they weren't too short. I mean, they were pretty short. I'm not gonna lie, they were pretty fucking short. But yeah, I don't know.
too short for me.
I like the way he plays Bruce Wayne, though. Ben Affleck. I like how he's nonchalant. He just reminds me of the Kevin Conroy Bruce Wayne from like the TV series. The suit I quite liked. He was scary in a way, just how bulky he was. Like this motherfucker had something to prove, but the movie wasn't that great. I will say that. Did you watch the 4-hour thing or 3-hour thing of Justice is Gray? The Justice League movie that Zack Snyder.
Who are you asking?
I
was gonna say, I can't.
watched
That's
it
the
all.
That's the only version of Justice League that I've watched, is
The long one.
The Snyder. Well, just when it comes to the DCEU movies, what ones have got extended versions? Is it just Batman v Superman?
That one
Justice
did.
League?
I don't know if
Is
Wonder Woman has or not.
Because at least for Batman v Superman, I waited till the director's cut was out digitally, and that's how I watched it. And then Justice League, I've only seen the Snyder cut.
It,
I heard it was better.
Yeah, I think it was better. Joss Whedon can suck my right nut. I will say that. That's my big hot take. Yeah, I don't like that guy. But the amount of stuff I've heard about him, the way he treats people and stuff, and plus the way, like, I don't like the thought of somebody had their vision one way, of like Zack Snyder had this way. And I'm not one of those dick riders like Zack released your Snyder cut type thing. But if somebody had a vision for what they wanted their movies to be and their characters to be, and then you had Joss Whedon where he just edited and made it like this campy little fucking thing, and then harasses the actors and whatnot, I think that's just kind of like a 360 of like, what the fuck are we doing? So
Yeah, that's never great. I didn't know all that. I mean, like I knew as far as like him like completely fucking up his cut and stuff, but I wasn't like super aware of like the behind the scenes stuff with all that, but I just know it was a shit show.
yeah, maybe like a year or more now. Maybe it was 2 years ago. The actors started coming out saying like how big of a shitty person he was and stuff he would say and whatnot. So,
I mean, Joss Whedon, I think he has like sexual assault allegations or something.
Yeah, so I didn't like his version of the movie anyway. It didn't feel, it was very cringy, and Zack Snyder's like vision of it, I liked it more because I just like seeing the artist's vision. You know, like, despite the characters or whatever that's in it, I just wanted to see their take of it, and it wasn't that bad. But I don't know.
Well, Tyler and Chad watched Gladiator. Avery, did you as well?
No, I love how I was like giving you shit for it. I was just like, I'm gonna send the Penguin. I had it up on my computer. I was gonna watch it, and then I had to go out and do stuff, and I came back, and I was just like, you sent it back to me. I was like, deserved. So
I'm very interested to hear your all's thoughts because, I mean, spoiler, this episode was really supposed to be covering Gladiator, but of course, I shit the bed, and in turn, it seeped into Avery's trousers, and we both got shitty pants now. So
he's like, shit, he didn't watch it. Why the fuck should I watch it? I was
fuck
kidding.
this
Not
shit.
on
Chad gave it 2.5 out of fucking 5.
Shit, I didn't see his letterbox.
Because I could have lived without seeing the movie. It's
Was it?
okay, but
Yeah, give
I
us
don't-
some insight.
it wasn't bad. The first like 40 minutes I felt was really slow. I don't know if you agree with me, Tyler. But like it starts, they're on a battlefield. Maximus is like, you know, leading them against a victory for the Roman army. And he wants to go home. After that, the emperor pretty much tells Maximus that like, hey, my son's unfit to rule. I want you to, you know, kind of take over, kind of succeed him and stuff like that. But the Commodus, which is his son, gets angry by it, kills his father, and then, you know, locks up Maximus. That whole thing took way too long to get to. It goes a little bit farther. He's told that they're going to kill his family as well. Maximus escapes from his captors, takes forever to get home. When he gets home, he finds that his wife and child has been burned, and then pretty much passes out and gets captured into slavery. Once that happens, the movie picks up. It's pretty good from there.
Which is at like about the hour and 20-minute mark.
Yeah.
Damn.
Which, I mean, if you're all for, you know, a lot of prelude, like not slow burn. I mean, it's definitely isn't a slow burn, but in the way that you're building up to something, it's nice. But I went into this movie like it's a bunch of guys fighting with swords.
Yeah.
So when you take about an hour, I mean, there are some action scenes in the beginning, but I wasn't entertained, you know?
Are you
I hated the like half. I don't know if you agree with me, Tyler. It was like parts of it was really fast and parts of it was really slow. They could not find like the middle ground of showing the action without it just being super slow mo or super quick.
Well, even the way the fight scenes were. Now, I'm pretty sure this movie was rated R.
I think so.
It did not feel like it was rated R because in the fight scenes, you'll have it and, you know, you'll come by and Russell Crowe will just like, you know, be chopping a dude with the sword real quick. And I feel like in most movies, when it's violent like that, you're going to see like, I don't know, maybe the slash in the dude from where he was cut or blood dripping or something like that. It was like slash, and then it would cut to like some random action going on, like in the arena. The only really gory thing I can think of is I do remember there was one chariot rider that I saw got like cut in half, and you see like the torso disconnect from the lower body just for a split second. Other than that, I feel like, but like with the slow, like sometimes it was slow motion, and then it would do like the really fast editing. Like the editing was,
it
like,
was rough for the big fight scenes.
Talking about it right now, really, I'd sour so much, and I really wasn't even big on it in the first place. But actually being able to like put my thoughts together.
That's how I
Story,
feel. Like, if you would have watched the action scenes on like 0.25, you could have seen more. Extend the movie 5 more hours, and the scenes would have been better. But
yeah. We need
Sounds
the
like a
Zack
Zack Snyder.
cut.
mhm.
Me neither agreed. Damn.
This guy.
One thing I really did like about the movie, though, is once they got to Rome and got in the Colosseum, you could see the tension between Maximus and Commodus kind of building up.
Mhm.
I don't really get the ending when they fought. He knew he would not win, but
Well, I mean,
um,
the ending, he's still going out in a heroic way.
yeah,
Like spoilers for the movie. Then we already kind of spoiled most of the plot.
yeah,
So Commodus, he stabs Russell Crowe, or
yeah.
what?
He like
Something
stabs him
that.
in like the side there with like I don't know what it was, but it was sharp.
So he goes in to their fight at the end of the movie already wounded, and he is able to defeat Commodus, but then he collapses and dies. So I mean, like, in the way that obviously he is dying a warrior's death, and he is helping the people by getting rid
Mhm.
of this dictator type ruler, but at the same time, you're like, I mean, I like the end scene where it shows, him going, I'm gonna say to the afterlife, but when he's
Mhm.
going to see his wife and his son in the field. But yeah, I don't get the hype,
Like I
honestly, for
said, if I
this.
would have seen this in my review, if I would have seen this when I was younger, I could like it more because there was some pretty, good scenes for what would have been back then during that time. But now, no, I don't see it. I'm very glad there was a weird connection near the end with Commodus and his sister.
I was watching, so I was watching it, and Michaela came in, and she sat in the living room with me, and that was like the first thing she'd seen from the movie, and I'm like, I think he's about to smash his sister.
I'm glad there was no, unnecessary sex scene in there because that would have been rough.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Um,
like, even you know, Commodus tells him earlier, like, yeah, my soldiers said that your son died squealing like a little girl and your wife died moaning like a whore.
mhm,
But then, like, 20 minutes later, he's over here flirting with Commodus's sister.
mhm.
uh, I don't even think that, like, having big names in this movie, to me personally, isn't even a draw with having Joaquin Phoenix and Russell Crowe. Like,
Honestly, the only reason why I would ever, and I have thought about watching it, was for Joaquin Phoenix. So that's my boy.
I was just interested to see because I know the second one comes out in a few weeks here, and I was just wondering how it would connect, and I still don't know what they're going to do for the second one. I might watch it if it ever comes on like a streaming thing. We'll see. But overall, it was a decent watch. I feel like I would have liked it more if I was, like 7. But it wasn't horrible.
What a stellar! Put that on a poster. I would have enjoyed it more if I was 7.
If I was 7, I would have liked it more.
I don't
You go
even
to
think I
8,
was
probably not.
7. I don't even think I would have been able to stay awake for it though as a kid. You have to fast forward to the action scenes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The
it would
Battle
have
of
been those movies I watched with like my
Geonosis.
dad or something.
The Battle of Geonosis and Attack of the Clones has more going for it than Gladiator.
Fuck yeah! Honestly, are we surprised? Sounds like the best thing to come out of Gladiator was MF Doom getting his mask from that one scene. So, shout out to that. Oh, let's watch Attack of the Clones. Now I'm just like, because I rewatched Attack of the Clones like a year or two ago, and like I remember the discourse that I kind of believed in for whatever reason because I couldn't make up my own opinions about like the prequels and if not if not the Phantom Menace being the worst, then Attack of the Clones is worse, like one of the worst ones. Attack of the Clones fucking slaps. It goes insane. I feel like I really enjoy it.
Tyler
Attack
going
of the
over here
Clones.
like, what the fuck?
Yeah, now we're
What
back.
the
We're
fuck?
back.
What the
Well,
fuck?
Attack of the Clones, like, it's the one prequel that I feel like I'm the mixed on the most because I love Revenge of the Sith. I've grown to love Phantom Menace over time because I grew up as a prequel hater, even though our
Same.
generation's supposed to be prequel fanboys. But Attack of the Clones has always just been the one that I'm like, there's so much I like about it, but I guess really when I think it's just how the romance plot feels so like dragged on, and you don't actually. You're like, Anakin, you're a creep.
Hayden Christensen is crazy perv vibes.
Okay. This is funny as fuck. So I have a story. We all know Devin. I'm sure Brandon does as well. And I'll clip this out and send it to him later on. But he has watched Star Wars through and through the whole entire thing. I was on his ass for the longest time to watch Star Wars. So he watched it from. I'm pretty sure he went through the order, so the prequels first, and then the original trilogy. And his outcome is he hates this character the most is Anakin because how much he gets rapey vibes from him. He does not like him at all. Oh my god,
dude. And honestly, I swear I subconsciously forgot about this. I actually have an Attack of the Clones poster in my living room. Like, yeah. I don't even know. Like, I feel like for me, one of the big things where I'm just like, fuck yes, give me more of this is like the Obi-Wan Kenobi, like, fucking detective subplot that he's got. Like, that shit goes hard as fuck. And you're on that water planet with all the clones and those weird looking alien motherfuckers. Like, shit goes hard.
Actually, it's called Camino, and those are Kaminoans.
I sent you all a meme this morning that's literally you all. Like, you're able to name out all the characters.
You all.
But you all didn't watch it. You didn't watch it. Nobody liked it.
When'd you send it?
This morning.
I might have missed it too.
Discord?
On Instagram. I'll resend it because it's literally you, Tyler.
I'll show you guys this if you guys can see it. But my phone is like it'll clip back and forth where it's not doing it now, but it's like flashes, and sometimes it'll be like super bright, and then sometimes I'll get like these wordings everywhere. So, and then my whole my screen sucks. So I was trying to text back some things to you guys on Instagram, and it would get like my full sentence would be out, but I could not press the send button because it's on that sliver.
Oh shit!
So I was like,
yeah.
I selected it all and cut it, and I was like, I'll just fucking tell them later. So I probably did miss that meme though.
That video, I've seen that guy pop up before on my TikTok before.
Oh, nice. Yeah, it's definitely reminds me of you guys.
I think I for sure was the type to grow because I grew up. My dad's like a super fucking Star Wars fan, like super. I grew up with him having like a full room full of Star Wars toys, vintage, all the way on to like whatever was releasing. So I was like born into it. I think like what helped me, and this is I know it was like later on. I forget like the time period, maybe like middle school, maybe before middle school. What helped me love the prequels more was the Clone Wars series. That was on Cartoon Network. But I don't know, like something about that whole story arc. I fucking love it. I even loved like the romance type scenes and whatnot. So I guess I fall under the I love the prequel type thing.
I mean, if we're talking romance subplot and prequels, I mean, Natalie Portman, you're getting all that. So
You know,
Good
I
Keira
call
Knightley,
myself
the first one.
like an original trilogy guy, but then I look at my shelf
It's all Clone Wars.
and prequels.
Well, it's hard to definitely get original trilogy when they come out with the same fucking characters every year.
It's Luke and Leia, and Han, and
Yeah,
Chewbacca,
same
Vader.
fucking things. Repackaged with different packaging. That's the same fucking figure. It's like,
Which, I mean, I get it because, like, the original trilogy figures are usually always the ones that you see going to,
yeah,
like, all these, like, Ponda Baba, Dr. Evazan, the Biff musicians. You know,
yeah.
if Momon Nadon goes to Ollie's, I'm gonna be so mad.
When I was there was a lot of Black Series, but a lot of the same stuff they had before. I couldn't find like any other really good Marvel Legends other than Mr. Fix-It.
If Momon Nadon goes to Ollie's, I will buy every single one of them.
Hell yeah. He looks
Not
sick.
really, but
Hindsight being 2020, you should have snagged that RVD.
I should have.
That's crazy. I ordered an RVD and a Sandman, the wrestler, from Ringside Collectibles, and that shit has still not came in. So, like, I don't know if that's on, like, a crazy back order or what.
What kind of Sandman? Like an elite Sandman?
Yeah, it's an Elite Sandman. So they got, like, two different versions. Like, regular one is him with just, like, his fucking, like, black and white yoga pants. And the Chase is with his, like, red, white, and blue, like, stars and stripes pants. And what's cool is he comes, like, packaged in, like, he's wrapped in barbed wire. And he comes with, like, the beer can accessory and, like, a kendo stick accessories. So hopefully I get that here soon because I thought that'd be pretty cool. And the RVD that I got coming with it is like an ECW RVD.
I was tempted for a hot minute. I was like, what if I did just collect elites of wrestlers from when I watched? And then I'm like, I don't need it.
It's such a slippery, like, proposition because the thing of it is, though, like, I wish there was more, like, wrestlers from the time that we were growing up that were getting, like, releases, like, from, like, Ruthless Aggression era and what have you. But, it's obviously going to be a lot of, like, the newer people and, like, the big legends and stuff. So I'm not going to be able to have, like, a fucking a Eugene or something like that.
No Eugene, no Chris Benoit.
I wonder why. Can't imagine why.
I've been on this big, like, William Regal kick.
Bro, William Regal is a fucking G.
Like, as a kid, I always thought he was, like, probably, like, 50s just because he has, like, that British, like, face. I'm like, this dude's old. And then I looked him up, like, yesterday, and I'm like, oh, he's only in his, like, early 50s.
Mm-hmm.
He does not age very well. But he's a legend.
If you haven't seen his son wrestle, I think he goes under, like, the name, like, Charlie Dempsey or something like that. He wrestles in NXT, and he's like a spitting image of him, and he, like, wrestles, like, kind of the same style and stuff. So that's really cool. There's, like, a video all, like, the big lore for this one match in WCW. It was William Regal, which in WCW at that time, he, like, was kind of like a nobody, and he was wrestling Goldberg. And Goldberg was, like, shitting on everybody, like, squashing everybody, like, like, in and out, nothing. And William Regal is, like, an actual legit, like, badass, but, like, dude is built like a fucking, like, 5th grade fucking math teacher, like, somebody, like, unsuspecting, but he's a bad motherfucker. And they went into the ring, and he was actually, like, putting them in, like, in holds and stuff, and, like, legit wrestling holds and shit, and was, like, kind of exposing him. And I think he got fired for that because everybody was like, damn, you just, like, exposed this dude. It's not focusing.
Yeah, it's not. But anyway, that looks like William.
It does. It's like a young William Regal, but like actually like relatively like seemingly fit. But you should watch him. He's actually pretty good. But yeah, that was the wrestling spiel.
We have wrestling now.
We gotta hit on every fucking subject.
We hit Star Wars?
For the first time or second time, maybe.
No, Tyler is single-handedly keeping this a Star Wars channel. He will he's got the figures in the back, and he'll maybe breathe the word of some Star Wars every now and then.
I might drop a recent pickup that's Star Wars related,
Yeah.
just to keep it there.
Creating the name. I never really thought about like what we would really be focusing on. So I really was just thinking about like how it sounded, because it sounded nice. Jabbas Dungeon podcast, because it's just so different, and everybody else is fucking calling their shit that. What the fuck?
I did find there's a podcast that is called Jabbas
Don't
Dungeon,
tell me. God damn.
but they haven't uploaded in, I think, about 8 or 9 years.
Oh, okay. Well.
Safe to say,
they ever come back.
Somebody took the crown, motherfucker.
Yeah, you better stay where you are.
I think like they were like in the Force Awakens era hype kind of thing.
Yeah, it's like you always think you have original idea, and then fucking it's never original. Yeah, it's never fucking original.
Without fail. Because sometimes when I'll sit and think of ideas for short films, or even just trying to start writing and stuff, I'm like, God damn it, I'm just taking everything from shit I've already seen, and I'm not even I'm not even realizing it. It's just subconsciously I'm like, oh yeah, that's a good idea, and I fucking watched that 8 months ago and just remembered an aspect of it.
Fuck.
You guys have any pickups you want to show off?
She's out of the package, but I showed y'all last week. I got this little basic, it's not basic anymore, it's main event, but Rhea Ripley. It's a really cool attire. And it's the first of the basic, the newer basic line that I got, and they got better articulation and stuff from what they used to have from basics and everything.
Back in the day, they used to just go front and back.
Yeah, just front and back, and it was really limited. I mean, I'd imagine you'd be able to change your hands out and stuff, but it's a really cool figure, and it's got a really good head sculpt on it. So yeah, that's all I got, I think.
What about you, Tyler?
Chad.
The One Piece little statue thing that I got when I went to the mall a couple weeks ago.
Nice.
That's the new design, right?
Yes, this is the newest arc.
Hell yeah.
So, but I might start collecting those for my shelf. I don't really know yet.
It's pretty cool.
See, I like that the hat you can take it on and off if I don't want it on his back or not. So,
never been into the statues that much.
I didn't know if I would either, and it was on clearance, and I was like, I'll just pick it up, see if I like it. I didn't think it was bad. So,
do you know what brand it was?
I had the box here. No.
Yeah.
It was sold by Bandai Namco, but
okay, yeah,
other kind of name in there too that was Japanese. So
yeah, Bandai Namco. Yeah, I like statues. I haven't been collecting them as much, but for a while that was kind of my jam.
I got have figures of One Piece. I've never bought one, and I'm debating on it. So I might pick one of those up because I keep seeing them at Target.
Chad's first tiptoe in the figures, huh? You starting?
That's what I'm debating if I want to start with One Piece figures. I don't know.
It's seeping in. Well,
the one day you'll see a Marvel Legend and be like, I'll just get one.
Yeah.
I see it all the time, and I'm like, why would I even want that?
Valid.
Yeah.
Wow. Fuck me, brother.
Sorry, bud. No. Maybe
sorry, but you love me.
I would get. Other than that, I don't think I'd buy many.
I like it just based on the characters they have, but also kind of it. statue wise, you can't really move him around into different poses, and I like the posability to him. So that's
I get
just
that.
if you get bored, change it. The only pickup I have is I found one of the Green Lanterns that came to the store I work at. So I went ahead and hid one away, and I picked him up. The images that they've shown off of this figure long ago, it looked like his jaw was like 2 times bigger than it is.
Yeah.
It not that bad on proportions, and I like the shiny glimmer kind of to it. Um, and I need to up my game on Green Lanterns. I like them.
Yeah, on those promo pictures, he looked like fucking Quagmire. Like that actually looks like proportional.
Yeah, like I'll send like a picture later on, but it looks really nice for Hal Jordan. I said fuck yeah, because I'm going to try to form like just a basic Justice League to put on my shelf. So
yeah, I need to get.
Good.
I was gonna say I need to get more in Green Lantern and shit, like reading the comics and stuff. Whatever.
I was gonna say Hasbro would use pearlescent paint like that and call it a deluxe figure.
They would. They would. And I don't know what it is that McFarlane is like doing right lately. With their like newer figures, like the capes are now wired. Their head sculpts are they're actually better. Like whenever they release Batman's now, they're using this one body that is pretty articulated. The fucking platinums that they always are hard to find, they're like sending out a whole fucking bunch of platinums now that you can find in stores. Like we just got the Superman that I talked to Brandon about briefly in the group chat. I have like 4 or 5 of them at the store right now, just sitting on top of the shelf. I hid one away if I ever like decide to get it, but I don't think that's going to be my definite Superman.
I think Tyler, we were talking about it briefly. Like, I'm thinking I might keep old blue Proto Spawn on card. I don't know. Just don't know if I can do him justice. Like posability factor. I mean, because he just looks good in the box, but
He does look good in the
I don't
box.
know.
Ain't nothing wrong with being on card.
Yeah, maybe I'll be able to, whenever I'm, filing for bankruptcy, I can flip them for 3 figures.
He'll get an itch one day.
It's really a guessing game on like what's gonna like go crazy with value and what's gonna be a Ollie's fun.
I saw on like a lot of different like resale sites, he was going for like $60 and up, and I've never ordered off Makari before, but I ordered off Makari, and looks like a dog chewed on the packaging, but he came in a good shape. It was only like $30, so that's like barely above the retail price, if that. Yeah, I don't think I got anything else. No.
All I've got is I showed you guys last week when we weren't recording, but the Fox re-release.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, old clone body. I hate it. But more excitingly,
Oh, you got the hardcover.
Yeah, I got.
Yo.
Okay.
Even though it came ripped.
Oh,
slightly.
That sucks.
But it's whatever.
What's does it show like a different cover within that, like behind that, or
I'm actually not taking it off.
Because that's the same cover that I have on the Flippy one.
Live reveal.
Yo.
Hey, that actually is pretty sick.
Top.
But yeah, I read it already. It's definitely a mindfuck.
So, what I've come to realize, because I read it yesterday, I didn't have my phone at all at work, because it was at home. I was like, it gives me time to sit down on lunch and read Damned again. And I realized that I'm pretty sure the Joker graphic novel is a prequel.
That's what I saw when after I read it, and I was looking more into the Joker one. And it's more so that like the creators of it have said that the Joker is like a loose prequel,
Yeah,
more so.
you could read both of them without even knowing up until like just a very short like part in that one. So it's still
But
worth it though.
yeah, I mean, I definitely think I'm gonna read that one too, just since they are connected somewhat.
Noel, I don't know if Noel is. I didn't look into it, but from what I remember, it felt standalone in that same universe though, like for sure.
I mean, with this one, I mean, it being a Black Label too, that's more like what interests me is when stuff is super dark,
Mm-hmm.
which is why I was reading like the current runs of Gargoyle of Gotham
Yeah.
and the First Night. That just seems to be more of what I'm drawn to right now. The, I'm still on that fence. I mean, spoilers a little bit for the ending, I guess more so. Is it supposed to be that Batman died fighting the Joker, and this is him going through purgatory, or is it?
So but I don't know if at the end of your book it does the same thing where it's like a gallery. So I was reading the little notes. I didn't read all of them because I thought they were just going to be like little notes of like, from the artist, obviously. But it gives you kind of like what they're going for. So that like witch, spoilers, the witch that you see is Enchantress. And he's fighting for his soul. And I guess it's kind of like almost like a purgatory type thing, but at the end it kind of left me guessing as well. I was like, what the fuck does that mean? Did he just like, I wish the Joker was back alive, and then he dies, and then Joker comes back to life?
So
I
it's
was
like, was
like,
he like switching spots with him?
I couldn't,
Like,
yeah, because the eyes look different on Joker, like they're glowing kind of at the end. So I was like, did this
because
motherfucker really?
he pops up at the end, because it's supposed to be that he fell off the bridge, but then Joker comes out and he's
Yeah.
doing the.
And I was just like, did he really just fucking? What a pussy, dog! Like, no, but I am still very confused as well.
I was getting mad Vicky vibes from Terrifier with
Yes, yes. Me reading it, I forgot a whole bunch about it. So like, when you read it, it gave me an extra push to read it again. Um, yeah, I didn't know that was Enchantress until reading that little insert.
that. Brandon, what do you not like about that image?
Okay, well, he doesn't look like a thumb, so that helps.
I've noticed some really short.
Yeah, I know, but he doesn't got like that Ben Affleck thumb build.
He kind of looks like he could be at Ben Affleck in some of these.
So, there is when you brought up that Harley raped him, basically, essentially. So,
Or attempt to, I guess.
well, I don't know if she attempted to because it was Constantine says in the book he was like, "I got your belt back after or from Harley after y'all and it goes ... So I think she successfully did it.
I have to find that. Is that after he gets out of the coffin?
It's like right directly after, like either what he passes out or something. Yeah, I think it's that when he gets out of the coffin or something like that. But
it goes from. If I can find that.
My book's in the car. If I had it in here, but
This is my goat. Very, very long ears, little detail. Just give him long ears.
see, when I look at that image, it reminds me of Batman Begins. That fucking suit.
That's so valid.
And that's why I love it so much. I know it doesn't have the collars straight up like that, but the neck and the ears, and,
Thick.
yeah, and you get like the bat symbol. And it's just, I know it's all fucking rubber essentially, which is like gives a, it takes a point off, but it just reminds me of that.
I mean, but it's got more charm than like, kind of like the military, kind of armor design they did end up going with, because I mean, you lost a lot of that personality with
Yeah.
them.
It was just all like, oh yeah, the military did this, but they didn't want it, and it's like, well, let's turn it into a bat suit, and it just had, and I saw this tweet where people were like, if that was nowadays, like people would say they MCU'd the suit, and I do agree with that because there is a lot of lines, unnecessary
That's so
stuff.
true. So true.
So
I found that spot, where Constantine says that. I mean, I don't know, because it's like in the shots after she gets on top of him. I mean, her suit is still. I mean, their clothes are completely still on.
yeah, I don't know. I just thought that was like, it's
She
up
definitely
for.
takes the belt off of.
Yeah, and I was like wondering about her scarring too. Like I had to reread Joker because I don't think that was touched up on, but I don't know.
And one of the things I was looking up after I read it to try to like make more sense of it, with the whole like purgatory kind of state that Bruce is in, is supposed to be saying that Harley's dead. I don't know if that connects to the Joker book at all, but
I'm gonna have to reread it. I I don't know because it looked like the cops are. Unless it's all, I don't know if it's all like some sort of weird dream type thing. I don't know.
I don't know. This book was just really trippy,
Yeah,
really dark.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. The Black Labels are always really good. Like I don't know if Absolute Batman is Black Label, but that it's on the darker side.
Grab this off real quick so I can show you guys.
While we pause and wait, subscribe because where else are you gonna get this content from?
The only DC Black Label I do have, which I told you all briefly a while back. I never got to finish reading it. I didn't get that far into it. But Batman, the Deadly Duo with Mark Silvestri. I love that Batman design.
Yeah,
I think that's really fucking cool.
That's a good run. I can't remember if I completed it, but yeah, it's pretty good.
I mean, just for the art alone, I mean, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, my Scott Snyder, and then I think for me it goes Jim Lee. I love the Hush design.
Yeah, Jim Lee is like he done so much good shit. Not just for DC, but Marvel, of course, just so much.
Yeah, lately I don't know what it is. I've been on a DC kick. I don't know why. I guess it's just weird little kicks people get into, like different things. It goes Marvel, then DC, etc.
Penguin was doing pretty good, so we're a Batman channel now. Yeah.
Bruce's Batcave podcast.
Ooh.
See if that's taken. Was there any big news topics we were kind of discussing? There was one.
Yes. First look images for Reed Richards.
Yeah.
But leaked.
The Andor trailer.
Spider-Man Noir.
Yeah, that's a good one. Big boy eating the hot dogs reminded me of Spider-Man 2 when he loses his powers.
That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, so hopefully that'll. I don't know, like, dude, like, I'm not the biggest comic book fan of Spider-Man Noir. I think it's just like sometimes it can be boring and sometimes it can be pretty nice. The movie wise, like Spider-Verse is really cool. I like him there. But the game that I played a long time ago, I can't remember what it was called, but it was a Spider-Man game where you use like
Shattered Dimensions.
Shattered Dimensions. And you played as Noir, and it was like the vulture that like ate his Uncle Ben or something like that. Like it seems gritty. So from what I remember, so it'd be cool to see like
I don't know if this is a hot take, but I feel like there could have been a better casting for Reed Richards.
I feel like it's more like
Okay.
depending on how. I mean, I have no question that Pedro will be good,
hmm
but I do feel like it's kind of like one of those big name grabs, and that's going to be more of a draw than picking a lesser known actor that might fit the role a little bit better.
hmm
But as a Pedro stan,
I think
I will
definitely
be
like he's on this big run. Like while this was going on, he was on that big run. So they're like, we have to grab him, like you said. And I think what's going to really make or break is the acting on it. I think it's going to
hmm
like, can he play him? Because everybody's like, he doesn't look like him. He doesn't look like him. Have you ever read a fucking comic book where they all look the same? Like, I know there's a general, like, look of some characters. Like, you have Reed that is, like, skinny, gray on the sides and whatnot. But there's so many different things within, like, the multiverse of comics and stuff that he could look like fucking anybody. You got, that one Reed Richards where he has, like, a long fucking head under this, like, helmet type thing. He's like an evil Reed Richards.
hmm
So I think it'll come down to the acting. I think he can be a really good Reed. Now, if I had to absolutely choose, I would have went with the guy from The Office.
Kaminsky.
I really
Yeah.
liked his look. It was definitely more traditional, and I know I'm going against what I'm saying right now, what I was saying. So I'm backtracking, motherfuckers. I think he played him good, and that was a good fan cast, and they did it, and I feel like it was wasted.
I am really excited for Vanessa Kirby, Invisible Woman, and that. And I can't remember this guy's full name, but
Eddie.
dude from the Bear,
Oh well, he's
for
fucking.
for the Thing.
Oh, the Thing. I thought you were talking about Human
Yeah.
Torch. My bad.
I think he's
Dude
gonna
from
be fucking
Andor.
excellent. Is he in Andor?
Mm-hmm.
Valid. Yeah, it's like Eben Moss.
Eben Moss.
Something.
Yeah.
But that dude's a great actor.
When Andor season 2 drops, I will not shut up. Andor is to Star Wars as the Penguin is to DC.
Whoa.
I didn't make it past the first episode of Andor.
Well,
I didn't even start it.
Me and Chad.
Well, you have to get past the first 3 episodes.
Oh.
But looking
One of
back, at the first
those.
3 episodes, but when you look back, because each 3 episodes tie together as like a story arc. Think about it as the Clone Wars. You got some sleepers, and then the rest of it's just.
I need to definitely dive back into it. I can't remember how many episodes. I might have been like 2 episodes in, but I really enjoyed what I saw of it. I loved the atmosphere it was creating.
It was dark, gritty Star Wars.
It was what you want. You know, they keep saying it's for children, motherfuckers. It's for children, but this is like what you would want, a grittier, more realistic type thing. And I do need to go back into it and finish it because I'm just a piece of shit and I put off a lot of things.
It makes the
Shut
Empire.
the fuck up, Chad.
Just saying, I know.
It makes the Empire feel intimidating. And not a lot of modern day Disney Star Wars media makes the Empire actually feel like a threat.
Yeah, because I can hide Leia in my fucking trench coat and they can't see fucking four fucking limbs out my damn, you know.
There's the shot. I think it's like in episode maybe 5 or 6 of Andor. The Andor and the rebels that he's with, they're just on this mountain, and it's like in this planet that's basically like a third world country type ordeal. And just a TIE fighter comes flying overhead. and they all like have to like run and duck from it because they're gonna probably like see us and bomb us kind of ordeal. And just like the sound design of that is like, usually you think TIE fighter, you just think, ooh, spaceship go pew pew in space and gets blown up. But in this situation, you're like, oh, if they see them, they are actually screwed because they're gonna get mowed down. I don't know. I will ride the Andor high horse.
I'm gonna put some time in and rewatch it. I'm so behind on Star Wars things, and Andor I did enjoy. I don't know why I fell off on the series so much. Maybe because there was so much coming out, and I was just riding with Mando. But
And Andor's a 12 episode show instead of the usual like 6 to 8,
mhm.
which also blows my mind how they were able to get by with making a longer show.
It also baffles me that like they didn't put too much effort into Kenobi, and it could have been something way more than what it was. I don't know. Sad days.
So they're putting on all that money to Andor, you know?
That very well could be. Honestly,
Had to make this little minor character actually mean something.
who gives a
in the
fuck
next
about
game.
Kenobi? Who the fuck is this guy?
Who the fuck?
His story's been told. Yeah. Make him a kink daddy, just he has a town and his guys do circle whippets and stuff like that. So
Hey, Rizzler was on Jimmy Fallon.
fuck them. Fuck them people. I'm sorry.
We're next to be on Jimmy Fallon.
Ooh.
I mean, if they got those guys.
Yeah, do I have to say boom fucking 20 times for you to fucking like me?
Mhm.
Boom.
Double chocolate cookie.
It would have been funny if the Rizzler, that little child, pulled like a Joker though and shot Jimmy Fallon in the head. It was all a favor. Am I right, boys? Fuck Jimmy Fallon.
That's a clip.
That kid makes more in a year we'll ever see.
A little late, but I was getting there.
Well, I would worship him like people were worshiping the Joker at the end. Had he just had a little something to say to Mr. Fallon.
Yeah, you would have gained like 100 pounds and started doing that little chin thing he does.
Yeah, I don't know anything about those guys, but the Rizzler's kind of funny because he's just like a little goofy Italian boy.
Yeah.
We should like kidnap Jimmy Fallon and like get him in one of our sets and like have him interview us.
Yeah.
I'd be down. I mean, I have a basement.
Yeah.
I have a biscuit.
Store him.
Yeah, we could have our way with him by the end of it.
If there was any other possibility of like getting Jimmy Fallon, they're gonna go back and like somebody would clip this.
Dude, Jimmy Fallon did blackface.
That is true. That is true.
So we're just making some slight threats. Some slight.
It's only a threat until you actually do it.
So. Yeah, there's the professional right there.
Now, bring Adam Sandler in here. I might flash my balls.
God dang. There's
just
some
to show
news.
him what for.
Happy Gilmore 2.
Yeah, I was gonna say, guys, it was nice knowing y'all.
I don't know what else is going on, to be honest.
I got this new back scrubber for in the shower. It's like a silicone back scrubber on a stick, and I'm able to like reach all the hard places you can't normally reach on your back. Life-changing. Would recommend. 10 out of 10. Should have brought it for my new pickups.
Drop that affiliate link.
Yeah,
Ooh.
sponsor us. Oh my god.
Stick.
Oh my god. It's so nice, boys.
God dang.
Yeah, I don't
think
got
that's
nothing
about
else.
it, boys.
That's it.
Yeah. All right. Well, as always, fucking subscribe. What the fuck are you doing if you made it this far and you're not subscribed? And if you are subscribed, thank you. We love you. Drop a like. Share this on all of your medias. You got fucking MySpace, fucking Musically,
Kick.
Tumblr, fucking Bang Bros. I mean, wherever you can share it because we need the exposure. And despite the fact that there was no episode last week, we're back. We're hitting some heavy topics. We're talking about balls and the Rizzler and fucking whatever else.
We might have pizza time soon.
We might have pizza time soon. You know, Thanksgiving's coming up. What a lovely Thanksgiving movie.
God, that blows my mind. It really is one.
It really is. And I forgot the last time I did watch it was around Thanksgiving. So it really is like the perfect kind of Thanksgiving vibe. So more on that.
Yeah.
Follow our accounts. Tyler, been grinding on the TikTok. Got the Instagram where you can keep up to date with like our news and stuff. Got the Twitter where you can also keep up with like news and stuff that we're interested in. And the letterboxes are linked down below. So I'm ready to pull our pants off now if you guys are.
Mine are already off.
I got a hole in my pants. So, and that's the end of that.